Hey everyone, it's Megan. Welcome to my channel. Welcome back to my channel. If you've never been here before, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below if you enjoy my content. It really helps out with the whole YouTube algorithm thing. If you've never been here before, my name is Megan and I talk about a little bit of everything, usually involving witchcraft, paganism, and polytheism, with a little bit of parenting and crafting in between. Today, I want to talk about ethics in divination, especially when it comes to reading for other people without their consent. So this topic really was brought about by a couple of different things, but let's define, I guess, what I mean by reading cards or any other sort of divination, psychic medium practices for other people without their consent. Usually this means like getting a message from someone and saying, hey, I read cards for you. This is what I saw. This is what I interpreted from these cards, which has personally happened to me. Someone reached out to me and said, hey, I pulled a card for you and it's X, Y, and Z. Now, if you're the person that did that and you're watching this video, it's okay. We've laid boundaries, which I'll talk about in a little bit. But it doesn't only happen to me. It's happened to a friend of mine who someone reached out to them and said, hey, I read your aura and I'm just practicing and here's what it said. But recently there's been more controversy about reading for other people without their permission. And I think you may only know about this if you follow Tati Westbrook, who is a beauty influencer here on YouTube with millions of subscribers, or if you're in the specific tarot community that is involved in this. So for a little bit of background about why Tati Westbrook is mentioned in my video, though I have nothing to do with the beauty community, is something had happened with her and she took a break from YouTube. I think she was gone for like a year. And she came back and she made this whole video about what happened, where she'd been, and where she planned on going from there into the future. At the end of the video, she mentioned and set a clear boundary that for any tarot readers out there, any psychics, anybody involved in the spiritual community, she wants people to stop poking into her life and into her energy with these tarot readings and whatever else is going on. I don't know too much about what else is going on, just that people have been reading tarot cards about her situation and when she'll come back and what happened, and just feeding into the speculation and controversy, created or otherwise, of why she left. Now, I've only seen secondhand accounts of this and heard it through Twitter and another video here on YouTube. But if you search on YouTube for Tati Westbrook Tarot, you find so many videos of people who are using their divinatory practices to poke into Tati's life. Now, I can't tell you what to do with your divination. I can't tell you who to read cards for, who not to read cards for. I'm only making this video, one, to set a boundary for myself, and two, to maybe give you something to think about in terms of ethics and consent when it comes to divination and poking your energy into somebody else's. Because Tati has set a clear boundary for people to stop reading her cards, to stop poking into her energy and into her life and putting it out there on the internet for everybody else to see.
But I'm asking to those of you that really want to whip out the tarot cards and see what's going to happen with me next, I'm asking that you not.
That's a clear boundary that she set in her video. Now, there have been people in the tarot community that I have seen secondhand, not firsthand accounts, who have called Tati setting this boundary manipulation, which I don't understand. But I don't want this video to be specifically about Tati's situation. I want to give my thoughts on reading somebody's cards without their consent, and then also reading somebody's cards without their consent after they have explicitly told you not to. Because it's going to happen. Like, I'm not naive. I'm not going to sit here and think like, hey, somebody has set a boundary and everybody's going to respect it. I'm not naive. But if you're in this community, we tend to take consent very seriously. And consent is something that I've talked about before, which I actually need to update that video because I have new thoughts and new thoughts, I guess. Maybe I'll redo it eventually to update my thoughts. But in my opinion, when you read cards for others without their permission, you're violating their consent. You are crossing a boundary, whether they have said so or not, that really shouldn't be crossed. You're poking your energy into somebody else's energy to read cards into their life or their situation. For what? Like, really, I don't understand, I guess. I don't understand the need that some people feel to read cards for other people and poke into their life without their permission. I just don't get it. And maybe it has to do with the fact that those types of videos get a lot of views, because especially with someone who is very popular on YouTube, or there's a lot of controversy surrounding them, those types of videos are gonna get views and they're gonna make people money. And maybe I'm being a little cynical, but is that the point? Is the point to stir up controversy to make money? I don't know. In general, though, for me, it's a rule of thumb not to read for someone else without their permission. Explicit permission. So if someone comes to me and they want a reading and it involves someone else, or they want a reading about someone else, I say no. It's not ethical for me to poke my nose into somebody else's energy and life without their permission. And then also, looking at that from a witchcraft perspective, you don't know what kind of protections and wards and spells this person might have around them, where if you go poking around in their energy, that could come back to you and backfire on you. They could also just be protected by their energy and their guides or their gods to either give false information back to the person poking around, or to get a nudge to the other person to say like, hey, get out of my life. There's a lot that can happen in that. But the main thing is a violation of consent and boundaries, even if it hasn't been explicitly stated. If someone reads my cards without my permission, it's a violation of my energy, my boundaries, and my life. It does feel very violating, and it feels very odd. No, odd's not the right word. It feels, I don't know, like it feels weird. I don't want to keep using the term violating, but that's really how it feels to have someone poking around in something that you didn't give them permission to see or to look at. So I would really encourage you, if you are a person who reads cards or does any other sort of divination about other people without their permission, to really think about why you're doing it. Why do you feel the need to bring this person a message, or to just shuffle the cards and pull one? Why do you feel that compulsion? Do you feel like that person's gods or guides or ancestors or whoever are coming to you and telling you to give them a message? Because chances are that's not happening. Those chances are very slim, especially in the divinatory sphere with tarot and runes and whatnot. I can't really speak for psychic mediums because that's not me. But think about it. If that person's guides or gods or entities surrounding them wanted them to get a message, don't you think they would tell them themselves? I don't think they would bring some random person into the situation to share a message. And then if you're the kind of person who is going to read cards for these people anyway, whoever it is that has already said, no, don't do it, ask yourself why. Why do you feel like it's okay to cross someone's boundaries that they have explicitly stated? Tati Westbrook explicitly said, don't read my cards. I am explicitly saying, do not do any divination about me, my life, my family, whatever. If you feel the need to cross those boundaries and read into my life and my energy anyway, that's going to come back on you from this point on. And I don't understand why someone would continue doing this if they've already been told no. Why would somebody feel the need to cross those boundaries and even say that it's manipulative, or say, oh, well, they have no right to put those boundaries out there? It's not your energy and it's not your life. Those boundaries need to be respected, especially if you want to have respect within the occult community, in my opinion. I don't find it acceptable whatsoever to do any sort of divination into anybody's life without their permission. And I really think that should be the gold standard, especially if you're going to be posting about it online. Again, I can't tell you what to do. I can't tell you who to read for or who not to read for. I'm only bringing this discussion to the table because it's something that I am seeing firsthand with myself, something that I am seeing secondhand with my friends, and something that I'm even seeing in the wider community that has nothing to do with the occult, period. So I know this video was a bit serious, but serious things need to be talked about, and this is important. Make sure that you're subscribed if you want to hear my updated video about consent in spellcasting and consent in witchcraft. I will be updating that video very soon. I'm also going to be walking you through some steps and tips that you can bring into your own life to create a consistent daily practice in regards to witchcraft. So if you'd like to see more, if you watch my videos, if you enjoy them, please go ahead and subscribe down below. Again, it helps out in the YouTube algorithm. The occult community, though there's many of us here on YouTube, we are not a very big community, and so those subscriptions and those views really help. They help our community grow and help the information get out to more people. Until next time, I hope you consider this video and consider the ideas that I have put forth here in terms of divination for people without their permission, and I will see you next time.